Hari Om. Let's pray. Om Sadaji Smarambam Acharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Mande Guru Paramparam Samasta Jana Kalyani Nilatam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsachanura Mardhanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Tvameva Mata Cha Pitattvameva Tvameva Bandhusya Sakattvameva Tvameva Vidya Dravidam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva Tvameva Sarvam Guru Deva Deva. Hari Om. We are doing question and answers, and the question that's important is why we should understand the Adhyaasa. Adhyaasa means superimposition. Superimposition of what? Superimposition of something other than what it is. So why should I know about it? Because that's what we are doing all the time. And that becomes a fundamental problem and that need to be solved. Therefore, Shankaracharya, when he writes the Bhashya on the Brahma Sutra, he starts with Adhyaasa Bhashya. So you can see the importance of it, and we should understand what exactly is happening. Why we need to know? Because we are making a fundamental mistake of taking ourselves what we are not as we are. That is due to error. And how do you say that? Because we say, I am this. That's what it's starting with. I am this body, I am this mind, I am this intellect. That is a fundamental error. Why do you say it is an error? Because I am is a subject and this is an object. So object cannot be a subject and subject is different from an object. But I am saying all the time, this all my biodata is telling that in fact confirming my ignorance of that I do not know who I am. So the superimposing myself what I am not as I am this only because I do not know who I am. So that forms the fundamental ignorance, and ignorance is the cause for the adhyasa, superimposition. So ignorance has attributed, ignorance is called avidya. Avidya of what? It's not ignorance of chemistry, ignorance of physics, ignorance of biology, ignorance of my own self. Without knowing myself, I am trying to solve all other problems. And I want to know chemistry, I want to know physics, without knowing who I am to start with. And everybody thinks they know who I am. No courses are offered in anywhere, who are you? But only all courses are related to something else other than you. So the question is because everybody takes granted that they know who they are. Unfortunately, we do not know who we are and trying to understand everything else. And that's what is called the adhyasa. I am superimposing myself what I am not as I am, and that becomes a fundamental problem. So the ignorance, because I don't know who I am. So ignorance has two components. One is called avarana shakti and is called vikshepa shakti. Avarana shakti, it covers the truth. That is called avarana. That's one aspect of it. Then the vikshepa shakti is projecting what is untruth as a truth. That is called vikshepa. So I am sitting in a pitch dark room. Do I see any chair there? So I don't know. I don't see anything because I have no knowledge that the chair is there because it's too dark for me to see. But doesn't mean that I am going to project something that I don't see a chair, but I am seeing an elephant there. I don't project something other than that, where it is in the simple ignorance there. But in the most of other ignorances, I have a partial knowledge of something and therefore I am projecting something else. So complete ignorance of anything. I don't know whether the chair is there or elephant is there, anything is there. I have no knowledge because it's too dark. Therefore, complete ignorance, I don't project anything. But when there is a partial ignorance, then projection is there. So when there is a partial ignorance, then I am seeing something, at the same time I do not know what it is, therefore I project something other than what it is, because I don't have complete understanding of what it is. So there is a vikshepa shakti. Vikshepa shakti comes into picture because even though ignorance is covering, it's only covering partially, so there is a knower and a known still operating, and therefore knower is what? It is the conscious entity with the mind has to be there in order to project something other than what it is. And that Vikshepa Shakti comes into picture. That means non-apprehension is a covering, and misapprehension is projecting something what it is. So it's called, people call it, avidya has two components, avarana and vikshepa. But it's not the ignorance doesn't project it. Ignorance becomes a cause for projection, but it's not complete ignorance, it's a partial ignorance is a cause for projection. Partial ignorance because I am knowing something, that means there is a knower, known, still duality is operating, and therefore there is a projection, and projection can only come when there is a mind is there. Mind cannot project by itself because mind is inert. And mind supported by consciousness has to be there for projecting something also besides what it is. So when I am projecting something, I may be projecting the truth or untruth, I don't know. And here I am projecting definitely untruth because I am taking that I am this body. This body is an object and I am a subject, and this body is limited, and scripture says I am unlimited. This body is inert, whereas I am a conscious entity. So all opposite attributes are superimposed only because I am projecting on something which is not really true. And because it's not true, there is no problem as it is, but the problem comes into picture that I am trying to solve a problem because I am thinking I am the body, mind, intellect, and body, mind, intellect are desakala vastu parichinnam. That means limited by space-wise, time-wise, and I don't like the limitations because I am as it is. Pure Satchidananda, according to scripture, is infinite, and the infinite taking the role of a finite and doesn't like it and wants to be infinite as it is, and therefore wants to make the BMI as infinite. So that's the whole struggle in life is trying to solve a problem where there is not really problem to solve. By how do I make BMI infinite? I want to live forever, number two, and I want to gain everything in the world that is becoming infinite, and also I want to be inexhaustibly, eternally happy, Satchidananda related, and I want to become Sat, I want to become Chit, I want to become Ananda, which I cannot become by any solutions because finite cannot become infinite. So Adhyaasa Bhashya, Adhyaasa is understanding of what is the fundamental error and why is the error is committed and how to solve the problem is important for self-realization or for liberation. That's why study of Adhyaasa is important. With that we stop. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Sishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha.